Wow. After 8 episodes, our emotional journey through The Last of Us Season 1 is about to come to an end. Hey, what's up, everybody? Renee, LOWKEY, GEEK here. And yeah, episode 9 has finally arrived. Now, I'm doing this a little late. I'm doing this already a couple days after it was released on HBO, mainly because this past weekend was the Oscars. And if you know me and you know this channel, we definitely follow movies, and I'm a big movie guy. So me and my movie brother, Blake, we do the Movie Time podcast. So we were covering the Oscars live. If you're interested in that, check out the channel where you could see our live commentary. So because of that, I'm a little late to the party here, but still I'm here regardless, and I am looking forward to seeing how this wonderful season 1 concludes of The Last of Us. Now, before we dive into this final episode, let's do a little recap of what we saw last week. So last week was a very impactful, emotional, and probably one of the more raw and gruesome episodes that we've gotten here on The Last of Us. It mainly involves Ellie trying to save Joel, trying to get him some meds, try to help him recover and all that. And she encounters a group, mainly led by this guy named David. Now, for those of us who've played the game, David is one of those characters that really test the boundaries of cruelty and absurdity. And we definitely got to see this in this episode where, he captures Ellie, imprisons her, tries to make her his wife, all while Ellie finds out that these people that he's, kind of leading and taking care of, well, they're basically eating people, and they're had to resort to cannibalism in order to survive, and they happen to be eating their own dead. Now, of course, a lot of this stuff we also encountered in the video game, but I do feel like there wasn't really hiding the monstrosity that is David in this episode. The episode itself began with him, in this kind of culty way leading the group into prayer, and you could tell a lot of people are very cautious and careful around him. Everyone's like on eggshells, and there's something about this guy that they're being very cautious about. In the game, I think you feel like, oh no, this guy could potentially be friends with Ellie and could help Ellie and all that stuff along the way, and then it is later on revealed in this big revelation that no, this guy is up to no good, and Ellie's in big trouble here. But regardless of the fact, they're both very evil versions of this David character, and Ellie has to find her way to escape and basically escape the clutches of this guy who in a burning steakhouse attempted to basically try to rape her, and Ellie has to resort to violence in order to get her way out of there and escape, all while Joel is trying to fend himself off from this impending doom of some of the other followers trying to locate him and take him out, because these were the same group of people that attacked him at the university. So since he killed some of their own, they're looking and going out after for some revenge. It was the ending of this episode that we really saw Ellie kind of resort to her manic, chaotic rage, very similar to what we saw Joel go through in episode 1. And you could really see how Ellie and Joel share that similarity, where they have that inner rage in them, and sometimes they let it take over and they have to resort to violence in order to escape or do what they have to do in order to survive. That's why that episode was very crucial in painting the landscape of the cruelty and the reality of survival in this world that they're living in now. It was very gruesome, very raw, and very hard-hitting. And at the end there, we saw Ellie pretty much in like this state of shock and not realizing, knowing where she is, and finally getting reconnected with Joel. And we heard that very lovely line that Joel said to her and calling her baby doll, which is in reference to what he used to call his own daughter back in episode 1. And that embrace that they shared and them walking away from the fire was very, very heartfelt and very, very impactful. So it was a very, very heavy episode, and It's not going to get any better from here, folks. Especially, like, again, if you played the game and you know how this game ends, it is one of those endings that was at the time very controversial in the video game industry, and along with gamers and fans of the video game. So I'm just gonna watch this episode, let it play out, see how they handle it, and then we'll talk about how it compares to the ending of the game itself afterwards. So with all that out of the way, again, if you haven't done so already and you like what you see and you want to see more of this stuff, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And lastly, if you're in a position to further help this channel grow and you happen to like the shirt that I'm wearing, then I suggest you check out 80s Tees. Click on the link in the description of this episode. So whether it's for yourself or for a loved one, get yourself something really awesome. And by doing so, you are also helping support this channel at no additional cost to you. So again, thank you so much for all your support. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's finally dive in. Last episode, the season finale, episode 9 of The Last of Us.
Oh, I missed too.
Did you suck at shooting?
And yeah, it's pretty amazing to see them recap all of these moments from the entire season. It's hard to believe that we've gotten and we've seen so much in what feels like a very short period of time. And you see like the transition and the evolving relationship between her, Ellie, and Joel, and all the stuff that they've gone through, the progression and all, the things that they've seen, the things that they've experienced, the people that they've lost. It's pretty crazy. I'm wondering how many times I'm going to end up crying in this episode. Who's this? Oh, no way. Wait a minute. Is this Ellie's mom? It's interesting. We haven't really seen any clickers in a while. Oh no, her water's breaking. Or it broke. Not a good situation to be in. Is that the same knife? Is that Ellie's knife? Oh my god. Oh! She get bit? Oh my god. It just shot out of her? Oh no. She got bit. Yo. This lady's a badass. Oh man. Wow. They did a good job. They made this look so realistic. Oh.
Yeah, you tell her. You fucking tell Nelly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh man. What a scene. And yeah. Now you could kind of see where Ellie gets her spunk and toughness from. Definitely from her mom. Wow. And is that a way of them explaining how she is kind of quote unquote immune to the infected? Maybe because as her mom got bit, you know, whatever it was kind of flowed through Ellie, through the blood, and maybe she just, you know, developed an immunity to it. Is that what they're trying to explain maybe? And showcase? Because I don't believe, if memory serves me right, we didn't really get that type of explanation or exposition in the game itself, at least in part 1 of the game. Who are these people now? Wait, is this the same house? Are we still in the past? Oh, look, there's Marlene. Well, now we know how the infected got inside.
Anna?
Oh, she hasn't turned yet.
It's not your fault.
We were delayed getting out of the zone.
She's hungry.
Smart.
I cut it before I was bit.
No, you-
Before.
No, you didn't. That's a lie.
I want you to give her this. Her name is Ellie. I can't. How long have we known each other?
Hmm.
Our whole lives.
So you pick her up right now. And then you kill me.
Oh. That's crazy. Ah, she's slowly turning.
I can't kill you.
Please.
It's like, what do you do in that situation?
Marlene!
There you go. Take this.
Oh! Well, he didn't cover her ears. What the hell's wrong with you? Oh. And here she is now. Practically a spitting image of her mom in many ways.
You hear me?
No? What?
Oh, I found this in there. Beefaroni, Chef Boyardee.
Yum. Yum, yum. Give me some. And what are those?
Have you ever played this?
Oh, Boggle.
It's a word game. If you want to beat me at something, it would be this. Well, all right.
No smart marks or quips from her.
Maybe the one we're looking for.
Got it.
It's almost like she's emotionally spent at this point. I'm sure she's still reeling from the effects of what just happened.
They had a guitar in that RV. It's all smashed up, but got me thinking, maybe I should find one. I haven't played in forever.
Joel is very upbeat and has a lot of energy now. It's almost like he never got hurt.
That'd be great.
Yeah, she's definitely not herself right now. It's almost like they're back in the same area where they bumped into Henry and Sam.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking.
Cut through that building to get around that stuff, find a skyscraper, go up and look around.
Actually, this time I was thinking we'd blast our way through that rubble.
Really?
No, so we're gonna cut through that.
Oh, who's being the smart ass now, huh? Come on, Ellie. You have to appreciate that. It's a different approach.
Military drops bombs. Not one of them hits the building you're trying.
Dropping bombs, son.
If I get you up there, you can drop that ladder down. Maybe we go through that way.
Feels like a video game moment. There was a lot of that in the game. Like, okay, you climb up here, you put that ladder down, all that stuff.
You okay?
Yeah, fine.
Just you kind of seem extra quiet today, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's extremely rare for Ellie to be this quiet. No snarky remarks, no sarcastic jokes or whatever. Poor thing. I feel bad for her.
Whoa.
Well, that ladder seems pretty damn short.
You gotta see this!
Ellie!
Come on!
What did she see? Oh, it's the giraffe. Oh my God.
Don't scare it.
I won't.
Oh, that's so great.
Can you hurry up? Come on.
Is that a real giraffe?
Hey there.
It's almost like that scene in Jurassic Park, you know, when they're trying to rest for the night in the tree and they see the brachiosaur. It's very similar. Yeah, like a nice reminder of how peaceful and graceful nature can be without having to have to worry about all the horrors that they went through and experienced. Oh, that's so cool.
So, is it everything you hoped for?
Got its ups and downs.
Nice callback. If you remember from previous episode in the beginning.
We don't have to do this.
After all we've been through. Everything I've done. It can't be for nothing.
Mm.
I know you mean well. I know you want to protect me. You have. When we're done, we'll go wherever you want. I'll follow you anywhere you go.
Oh.
We finish what we started.
Finish it till the very end. Wow. I mean, what would you do if you were faced with that situation too? You know, all the stuff that you've been through, would you just stop knowing that you could live maybe safe and comfortably, or continue to venture into the unknown? Oh, they made it. All right. It must be the hospital. So let's see what happens.
It was me. I was the guy who shot and missed.
Oh, there you go. The truth will set you free.
So time heals all wounds, I guess.
It wasn't time that did it.
It was you, Ellie.
I'm glad that didn't work out.
Me too.
Papa. I love you, Papa.
Do you know what I'm in the mood for?
What?
Cheeseburgers.
Shitty puns.
Oh, nice.
I love this one. Moon rocks taste better than Earth rocks. Why? Because they're meteor.
Oh, that's terrible. That's a
Breathe, you idiot.
that's a
Womp
3 out
womp.
of 10.
Oh, snap. Oh, watch out. Behind you. Oh. Why would they do that? Don't they see the little girl with him? Oh. Was that necessary? All they were doing is just joking, laughing around, walking about. They didn't look like hooligans. That's a lot of blood. Whose blood is that? Oh, it's paint. What's up, Marlene?
He thinks that the cordyceps in Ellie has grown with her since birth.
Why is she in surgery?
It produces a kind of chemical messenger. It makes normal cordyceps think that she's cordyceps. It's why she's immune.
So she has actual cordyceps in her that are living in tangent.
Cordyceps grows inside the brain.
Oh, it's in the brain. Oh, no.
Find someone else.
There is no one.
Hmm.
We didn't tell her. We didn't cause her any fear. There won't be any pain.
No, you take me to her. You take me to her right now!
I was there when she was born, Joel. I promised her mother that I would save her child.
Oh, man.
Understands.
F that noise.
I'm sorry. I have no other choice.
All right, quick pause. So, very interesting realization and kind of change too. The fact that, when you think of someone who has, and it's very topical too, especially the stuff that we've gone through in the last 3 years, 2, 3 years, having the antibodies in your blood system, in your body to fight off diseases and viruses and all that. We remember when she was with Henry and Sam, she was under the assumption that she could just use her blood to fuse it with somebody else who got bit, and in hopes that would help cure things, right? And just like any other disease and virus, it's usually blood related, right? It's within the blood that will help fight that stuff off, whether it's white blood cells, whatever the case is. Look, I'm no doctor, but I'm just dumbing it down for myself and for maybe some of you out there. But here, it's the fact that she has those cordyceps, and again, those cordyceps are like the things that you see coming out of the mouths of the infected. By the way, there is a great video on YouTube that you can watch if you haven't done so yet, that talks about cordyceps in our real life, in real world, and can that affect us as humans, and what it's currently doing in nature with insects and certain animals. So I'll link to that in this video because I think that's very timely to watch now if you haven't done so yet. But those cordyceps have been growing in her, and Joel's right. They grow in the brain because cordyceps naturally will try to control the host. That's what we're seeing being done with the infected right now. And the reason why a lot of the infected, they have like the cauliflower heads, is because I believe they infect the brain so much that it enlarges, and the cavity of your head cannot hold it anymore. So it kind of like explodes out of the head, and thus kind of forming this weird cauliflower effect and all that. Basically, what they're saying is that they're going to have to take these cordyceps out of Ellie's brain, thus killing Ellie, and trying to replicate it so that they could infect other people, but in a way that they won't turn into the infected. They will just have the same effect as Ellie, where the cordyceps would just live within them, still acting like a host, but it's communicated to others that slow down. I'm like you, so you don't have to attack me or infect me because I'm you. Very interesting change here. And from what I remember, it's not that similar in the game, but the ramifications are similar, meaning what the eventual outcome would be if they were to move forward with this. So, yeah, I think we all know where this could be going.
Walk him out to the highway, leave him there with his pack. Give him this.
I mean, it's tough for her too. I'm sure huge part of her does not want to do this also. The fate of humanity and the world versus one person, right? What do you do? To be in Joel's head right now, to think of all the possibilities, all the scenarios, a way out of this, a way to get to her. What should he do?
What the fuck are you doing? Keep walking.
I mean, I can. Oh, there we go.
Where is she? Fuck you. I don't have time for this.
Oh. See, it's now I feel like I'm playing a game right now. Like I'm going through the motions of the game. how is he gonna make his way through all of these fireflies? I feel like the rage, the survival instincts of Joel, we're finally seeing right now coming back. I'm sure he's thinking what happened with his daughter and how he cannot let that happen again. And whatever it takes to get to Ellie. Look at this. Oh, you don't even have to show it. Oh. Whew. God dang. And look at, I love it. The camera angles, the shots they're deciding to show. It's just as impactful as you know, instead of actually seeing the acts of violence, seeing the aftermath. Amazing, amazing way to show it and edit this episode so far. It's so good. Elephant. See, in time? On time? Oh, and she's knocked out at this point.
Unhook her.
How did you get in here?
I said unhook her.
I won't let you take her.
Oh! Wrong answer.
Cover her arm. Fast.
Don't hurt him, Joel. Come on, they're doctors. Oh. I think the three people he didn't shoot. I feel like they're the only ones he didn't kill during this whole rampage of his. Oh man, like who's left? Well, Marlene, I'm sure is left. We haven't seen her yet. Oh, there she is.
Keep her safe forever. So what would she decide, huh? Because I think she'd want to do what's right.
It'd be true.
It's not too late. Even now, even after what you've done, we can still find a way.
If you asked her, I'm pretty sure she would do what it takes, right? Because she knows the gravitas of it all, the importance, sacrifice herself for the greater good, right? But then again, who knows? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's all right. You're with me. Take it slow.
The question is, what happened to Marlene?
It was with the fireflies, and then
Did he kill her?
You were running some tests on you?
Oh, wait a minute. We might see now.
Turns out there's a whole lot more like you. The doctors, they couldn't make any of it work. They've actually...
Oh, man. Oh! There's my answer.
where are my clothes?
Raiders attacked the hospital. I barely got you out of there.
Wow.
Are people hurt?
Yes.
By me.
Is Marlene okay?
Ruh-roh.
I'm taking us home.
Where's home? Back to Tommy's? Hmm. she dead? Or just like wounded? Oh, that's not good.
You just come after her.
Oh! That's it. We already know Joel's way. No loose ends. No chances taken. Oh, man. Joel, are you going to be able to live with this decision of yours? And do you think, will Ellie find out? Or does she have an inclination of what could have happened? Oh, man. And if not, what would happen when she finds out? Oh, what?
Well, she got us close enough.
Too bad they don't have their horse anymore.
Well, Sarah and I used to hike like this all the time. I wouldn't say it was her favorite thing. She wasn't a fan of the mosquitoes and such.
Talking too much about his daughter.
She would have liked you. The two of you are the same. Definitely different kids.
How so?
I want to say girly, and I'm not saying that you're not girly.
I'm not.
Do you know why I think she'd like you? Because you're funny. Anyway, I bet you would have liked her back.
Yeah, bet I would have.
Oh, Joel, she's not your daughter. Stop comparing. You're going to make her feel very uncomfortable or feel like she has to live up to certain expectations. That's not good.
Hey, wait. Back in Kansas City, you asked me about the first time I killed someone. When I got bit in the mall, I wasn't on my own. My best friend was there.
Oh, Riley.
Her name was Riley. And she was the first to die. And then it was Tess. And then Sam.
That's not on you.
I know.
Look, sometimes things don't work out the way we hope. It's not what you
Swear
want.
to me.
Swear to me.
Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
Oh, ho, ho.
I swear.
Oh, Joel.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Wow. I want to hear from you guys who never played the game right now. How did you react to this ending? Let me know in the comments right now. No hesitation. What were your feelings on it? Because I'm sure a lot of you are just like, what the fuck? Now imagine us playing the game for the first time with a very similar ending. Pretty much same ending. How do you think we all felt? I'll tell you, very divisive. Man, but they did it. Woo! Crazy. All right, so that was it. We are at the end. That was the finale, episode 9 of The Last of Us. And I will say this right now, the impact of this show and how it ended is basically the same feeling I got when I completed the game so many years ago. I appreciate the fact that in my current playthrough right now, I haven't gone this far yet. And the last time I played it was still a good several years ago. So my memory is not 100% at the moment. So I feel like I was really affected by the fact that I'm like seeing this transpire all over again. And in a way, not entirely fresh, but it's been long enough that, again, it made me feel the same effect I felt when I originally went through it in the game. And, I'm very curious how a lot of you really reacted to the finale of this season. Because just like the game, it is very ambiguous. It is very open-ended. It leaves you in a way in this kind of major cliffhanger without any closure at all. And mind you, when this game came out and people, played through it and completed it, obviously a huge debate. And I remember how controversial the ending was. Many people I knew loved it, but there are a lot of people out there who just hated it, especially because, again, there was no finality to it. There was no real proper closure, and there was no indication or any kind of insight that there was going to be another game, another episode, another entry into the world of The Last of Us. We didn't know about that until many years later. It was one of those kind of ambiguous endings that I really love. And if you've been following me, if you watch me talk about movies and the movies that I'm really into, those type of settings, those type of like endings, those type of the type of storytelling I really love and I really get into and I really appreciate a lot. And this is what we got. And man, I can't tell you how amazing of an adaptation this has been for a game that came out a long time ago, and being able to see it transpire in live action by these brilliant actors and all that. And speaking of actors, I have to say that it was so refreshing to see a lot of the voice actors actually portray characters in this series. I didn't realize that was Ashley Johnson portraying Ellie's mom in this episode. And for those of you who don't know, and if you didn't watch some of the after episode stuff that they went through, Ashley Johnson was the original voice of Ellie in the video game. So I could only imagine how she felt portraying the mom of such an important character that she's been a part of for a very long time. And it was nice seeing that, because we didn't get those type of scenes in the video game at all. We just hear mentions of Ellie's mom. We hear Marlene kind of like talking to her, like kind of spiritually in the game. She's referenced, I think, in a letter that Ellie kept around with her. There was a Last of Us story or book or something like that where I believe she was also mentioned, but we never got to see her. But it was nice to kind of see her in the beginning of this episode, way back when I guess she was put on this planet. And we saw the mom and what she went through in order to protect Ellie. The back and forth she had with Marlene, they were best friends since they were kids. And how Ellie was just loved during that whole time. And it kind of shows and transpires now to Joel, right? How he, in turn, when he once referred to her as cargo, as package, something to deliver, an asset, to now being someone that he needs to take care of, just like his daughter. It's such a major transition from the beginning. But yeah, I mean, we saw Troy Baker in this series. He was the one who originally played Joel. Merle Dandridge, who played Marlene both in this series and in the game, which is pretty damn awesome. And I believe Jeffrey Pierce was also in this series too. And if I'm missing anybody else, please remind me in the comments. But yeah, it was just really nice because we don't get to see that really. There's always been that debate of once you adapt something from another medium to something else, whether it's game to movie to live action, animation to live action, there's always that debate of, well, who should play these characters? I'll never forget when Ahsoka was going to be portrayed as in live action. There was always that debate, well, are we going to get the original voice actress who did Ahsoka to appear in live action form? And there was a lot of debate and back and forth giving her that chance to do so. But instead, as we all know, they went with Rosario Dawson. And personally, I think that was a right move because, even though, I forget her name, Ecclestein or whatever, again, remind me in the comments, even though she did a brilliant job in voicing Ahsoka, she is not really an on-screen actor. There is a difference there. And Rosario Dawson carried the character and portrayed her extremely well. But we see that these voice actors, even though they didn't not all of them, with the exception of one, didn't portray their same characters. The characters that they portrayed in the series were pretty damn amazing and pretty awesome. And again, kudos to freaking Ashley Johnson for playing the mom of Ellie. Again, the character that she has been attached to for so long. But yeah, it's this series has been quite phenomenal, and this episode was extremely well done. Again, very emotional. The way you begin the episode with that kind of flashback, now going, and then how we ended things here, seeing Ellie extremely traumatized by the events that she went through, seeing her kind of open up once they encounter the giraffes, and kind of seeing that side of her, seeing her maturity from the journey, Joel just trying his best to be the dad, the protector, saying, we don't have to keep going. Let's just go back to Tommy's and let's just live a happy life together. And Ellie just saying, no, we have to do this. We have to continue. And because all the stuff that was done, that we did, the people that we've lost, the people that they've killed, all that can't be for nothing, right? And then just to have it without her say taken away again, because Joel, didn't want to lose her, didn't want her to die. Because the fact that they have to, unfortunately, do the surgery to her brain to take the cordyceps out, in order to replicate them and to produce a cure. He couldn't let that happen, and it's very selfish, but. And again, I cannot speak to this because I'm not a parent myself. I'm pretty sure tons of parents out there will feel the same way, that he did the right thing in trying to protect his child, who he now considers to be his child. He's kind of grown into that role, or put himself in that role. And that at the end there, you knew Ellie was onto him somehow. Like, wait, no, the story that he's telling just seems way too far-fetched. I've spent so much time with this guy already. Like, I kind of can tell when he's not telling me everything. And she's like, she gives him one last chance to tell the truth. Like, you got to swear to me that whatever you just said happened. And he says he swears. And of course, it's a giant lie, but it's a lie in order to protect her. And all she can do is just accept that. And now I haven't played part 2 of the game yet. And I feel like I'm in an awesome position because I'm going to be going into that extremely fresh. And we don't know when season 2 is going to come out. We know it's coming, but we don't know when it's going to come out. But from what I've heard, again, that part 2 of the game is also very controversial. And the grudge that I believe she carries with her, and how she trusts Joel as she's getting older and as they progress in the years is going to be quite something to see for sure. And I'm so looking forward to season 2. We were just informed, if you follow the news, that season 2 is going to be split into 2 seasons from what it sounds like, because the second game, from what I know, is extremely longer than the first game. With that being said, I kind of do, my only criticism here is that I do feel like a lot of the episodes were kind of rushed, or a lot of the scenarios and the story from the game being adapted were kind of rushed, and maybe they could have spent more time in some stuff, or more time in developing certain scenarios, like the whole David thing. Like, I felt it could have had more of an impact if maybe we had 2 episodes of that instead of just the 1, because I did feel like they had to rush through that a little bit, because it wasn't one of those things where in the beginning we didn't think he could be trusted. I don't know if it's just me, but I felt like in the beginning he was not to be trusted, because he just seemed a little out there, very like cult leader like, and that wasn't the feeling in the game. In the game, I felt like that was more of a revelation, more of a surprise reveal that no, this guy's up to no good and all that. But again, I'm very curious to hear from a lot of you who've never played the game and how you reacted to this series as a whole. Were you happy with how it ended because of what transpired in this? Are you looking forward to season 2? of The Last of Us when it comes out. Definitely love to hear your thoughts about everything. And similarly with those of you who played the game. And I know there's been a lot of, talk on the internet, especially from some certain individuals who just, couldn't let go of some certain things, decisions and all that was made, even though it didn't veer too much away from the major source material. So very curious and interested to hear what all of you thought of this as well. For me, my final thoughts on the season as a whole, it was unbelievable. It was well done. Again, this is how you adapt a video game storyline. This is one of the best video game adaptations I've ever seen, period, full stop. I can't even compare to all the other stuff. I mean, a lot of people would say the Sonic movie was a great adaptation, and maybe a lot of you would say Detective Pikachu was another great adaptation. But, those are just like nice little, happy moments. Nice little like, oh, the spirit was there and it captured like all the charm. When it comes to real full adaptations of a serious storyline from a video game, this is how you do it. And they did it extremely well. And because of that, I have full faith that they're going to do season 2 and 3, from what it sounds like, extreme justice when they cover part 2 of the video game. And I am definitely looking forward to how that's all going to transpire. And all video game adaptations from here on out, they have their work cut out for them, because everyone's going to now use this as this is the tier to achieve. This is what you need to do in order to do an amazing job at adapting a video game source material. And so that God of War thing that they're working on, and whatever other video game adaptation that they're working on, Mario Brothers, I mean, that's going to be a little different. That's going to be, kiddie and cheerful and very like charming. And I think that's going to do well. Don't get me wrong. But that's a little different. When we're talking about like serious, like real game story adaptations, they're going to be looking at this as the benchmark. And I don't envy a lot of these studios that are working on future adaptations from here on out. But that's it. That is the last of the reaction to The Last of Us, at least for this season, and the watch-alongs and all that. Thank you so much again for joining me on this journey as we go through the adventure of season 1 of The Last of Us. Again, let me know in the comments your thoughts and feelings of how everything transpired. Again, if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Really helps this channel grow, helps spread the word of the content from this channel. It helps recommend to you more content of this type if you like it. You will find the recap portion of this episode on the podcast channel, the LOWKEY GEEK podcast channel. So make sure you type in LOWKEY GEEK on your podcast platform of choice, where you could find this and many other episodes to download and listen to. And one last reminder, if you are in a position to further help support the channel and help the channel grow, don't forget to check out our affiliates in the description of this episode. Most importantly, 80s Tees. Again, if you like this kind of shirt that I'm wearing right now, you can find this and many others like it there. And if you're into pop culture and kind of throwbacks to 80s, 90s, 2000s and all that stuff, then you're definitely going to love something there. I'm sure you'll find something awesome for yourself to wear or to give to a loved one. But that's it for me for this time. Again, thank you so much. Stay cool, stay classy, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out, everybody.